Salty, based on the railway series by Reverend W. Awdry. This is a story about Salty, the dockyard diesel. He loved working by the sea, so he didn't think he would like it when I sent him to work at the quarry. But as it turned out, he was very good with trucks. Salty was a dockyard diesel who loved telling tales about the sea. One day, the Fat Controller asked him to come to the island of Sodor to help him finish an important job. Salty was excited about working there because islands are surrounded by water, so he knew he would never be far from the sea. "Ahoy there, matey," said Salty when he arrived at his new job. "I'm here to help you." "Welcome to the Centre Island Quarry," said Mavis. "A quarry?" said Salty in surprise. "But I'm a dockyard diesel. Are you two working by the sea?" "You're a quarry diesel now," Mavis said. Mavis explained that they had 3 days to complete the Fat Controller's important job. Salty was sad that he wasn't by the sea, but he was a really useful engine, so he got started at once. "Ah, well," he said, "at least I'll be working with trucks." "You'd better watch them," said Mavis. "They can be rather tricky." Bill and Ben, who were also working on the job, didn't think they needed any help, especially from Diesel. He won't last 5 minutes, said Bill. "Yes, the trucks will trip him up soon enough," replied Ben. But to their surprise, the trucks gave Salty no trouble at all. "Yo ho ho at the bucket of prawns," Salty sang. "The tilter spins and the captain yawns," sang the trucks. Thanks to Salty, by the end of the day, the job was almost done. Bill and Ben were very surprised and rather jealous of Salty. "Here comes Mr. Show Off," Ben said, when he saw Salty pulling a long line of trucks down the track. "You have to admit, he's got a knack with the trucks," said Mavis. "Maybe, but driver says he's bore the bolts off all of us with his stories about the sea," huffed Ben. That night, Salty didn't come into the engine shed. Mavis was worried. She rolled up next to him and asked him what he was doing outside. "I thought I might catch a little sea breeze," said Salty sadly. "You really do miss the sea, don't you?" said Mavis. "Arr," sighed Salty, "I do." Then Salty told Mavis some of his favourite stories about the sea. Salty knew the quarry work was important, so the next day he told Bill and Ben his secret for getting the trucks to behave. "I like working to a musical rhythm," he said, "and so do the trucks. Why don't you give it a try, my hearties?" Bill and Ben thought singing songs sounded very easy. They decided to try it at once. But Bill and Ben weren't very good at singing. They couldn't remember the words of the song. Before long, the trucks were causing all sorts of trouble for them. Bill and Ben realized that they would never be able to pull as many trucks as Salty. They watched jealously as Salty easily pulled them along up the line and down the track. Later that day, the Fat Controller came to the quarry. He was surprised to see that his job had been finished. "Well done to the engines. You have worked very hard indeed." "We could never have done it without you, Salty," said Mavis. Even Bill and Ben had to admit that Salty had helped them finish the job really quickly. "Now I've got an even bigger job for you, Salty," said the Fat Controller. "Arr, sir," said Salty sadly. "What kind of quarry is it this time?" "Quarry?" said the Fat Controller. "I'm not sending you to a quarry. I want you to work at Brendan Docks." "The docks are right by the sea," said Salty excitedly. "Yes, I thought you would like working there," replied the Fat Controller with a smile. "Oh, thank you, sir," said Salty. "Now this reminds me of the time at the harbour," and Salty was happily telling sea stories again. Salty is still working at Brendan Docks. He is very happy there because he can smell the sea air and watch all the ships sail past. The engines on the Sodor Railway love working with Salty, and they all admire the fact that he can pull trucks than any other 3 engines put together. The end.